I used to think my apartment was the only place I truly owned. It was a pre-war walk-up in the city-high ceilings, creaky hardwood, and thick, plaster walls that supposedly kept the world out. For the first 6 months, it was perfect, but there is a specific kind of silence that exists in old buildings. It isn't the absence of sound. It's the presence of a weight. You start to notice things, not ghosts, things I don't believe in those. I'm talking about displaced reality. The first time it happened, I found my front door unlocked. I was certain I'd turned the deadbolt. I checked my keys, blamed my morning brain, and moved on. Then, a week later, the kitchen window was open exactly 2 inches. I checked the fire escape. No one was there. Who's to call gray smog of the city? Psychologically, your brain tries to protect you. It creates excuses. I forgot. I'm tired. The building is settling. But then the sensory details changed. I'd come home from work, and the air in the living room would feel occupied, not warm. Exactly, but less stagnant. And there was a smell. Not a foul smell, just a faint medicinal scent, like cheap soap and something metallic. I began a ritual. Every night, I would line up my shoes perfectly against the baseboard. Every morning, they would be a fraction of an inch to the left, just enough to be a mistake, or just enough to be a message. I stopped sleeping. I'd lie in the dark, staring at the ceiling, listening to the rhythm of the building. The pipes groaned. The fridge hummed. And then I heard it. A breath. It wasn't mine. It was a slow, wet inhalation coming from the floorboards beneath my bed. I didn't call the police. What would I say? "Officer, I think someone is breathing under my bed." They'd think I was having a breakdown. Instead, I bought a small, motion-activated camera. I hid it in a stack of books facing the kitchen and the hallway. That night, I stayed at a hotel. I needed to see the footage without being in the room. I logged into the app at 3 a.m. For the first 3 hours, there was nothing. Then, at 2:14 a.m., the motion sensor triggered. I watched the screen. My bedroom door didn't open. The front door didn't move. Instead, the ceiling crown molding in the kitchen, a decorative wooden panel I'd never looked at twice, lit aside. A hand emerged. It was pale, thin, and moved with a terrifying, spider-like fluidity. Then a face, a man, gaunt and impossibly small, lowered himself from the crawl space above the cabinets. He didn't look for jewelry. He didn't look for money. He walked straight to the fridge. He took a carton of milk, drank from it, and put it back. Then, he walked into my bedroom. He stood by the empty bed for 40 minutes. Just standing, watching the pillows. This wasn't a hunting. This was phrogging. A term for people who live in your home without you knowing. I called the police from the hotel lobby. When they arrived, they found the crawl space. It led to a network of maintenance gaps between the walls. They found a sleeping bag and 3 of my missing forks, and a collection of Polaroids. They weren't photos of the apartment. They were photos of me, taken from the vents, while I was showering, while I was reading, while I was sleeping. But here is the part the police couldn't explain. The man they caught had only been in the city for 2 weeks. The photos in the crawl space, some of them were dated from 3 years ago, taken in my previous apartment across town. The man is in custody, but he hasn't spoken a word. The police tell me I'm safe now. I've moved again. A new building, 3rd floor. No crawl spaces. Everything is modern. Everything is bolted shut. But last night, I got home late. I walked into my new kitchen and reached for a glass. Primera stopped. There, on the gleaming quartz countertop, was a single dampering of milk. And the air, it smelled of cheap, unscented soap and metal. I haven't looked at the ceiling yet. I don't think I ever will.